How's it going, coffee lovers? My name is James. I'm the founder of Copa Coffee Co. I wanted to come on here real quick and show you that you can actually make espresso style coffee with an Aeropress. So to get started real quick, I'm going to go ahead and weigh out our beans. I typically recommend about 18 grams of coffee to about 90 grams of water. So in this case, if you don't have a scale, typically about 3 tablespoons of whole bean coffee and then to about half a cup of water. So hopefully that gives you guys a good opportunity to measure out without a scale. I'm going to go ahead and weigh out my 18 grams here. And something we talked about in an earlier video that you saw or didn't see on my socials, which if you haven't yet, check out Copa Coffee Co. on Instagram. There's a ton of really valuable information, trying to build a really wonderful community of coffee lovers like yourselves. I took coffee in a little pallet like this. I went ahead and I gave it a couple sprays of water. What this actually does is if you grind your coffee at home, which if you don't, that's totally fine. Copa Coffee offers the option for us to grind it before we send it to you. But if you grind at home, what we do is we spray the coffee. What that does is it helps limit the amount of static electricity created in the process of grinding these beans. And what that does for me is it helps. The static electricity does, it actually creates somewhat of a mess. If you've ever stuck a balloon on your hair and you rubbed it around, that static electricity, everything gets really sticky. The same thing kind of happens here where it gets caught in the grinder, it gets caught coming out, and it'll actually create a mess around your grinder or the carafe that receives the grounds. So this helps eliminate that mess, and then also you're making sure you're getting the full weight of that ground coffee when you go ahead and brew. So just a side note, when selecting your roast type for your espresso style Aeropress brew, we typically recommend a lighter roast or an espresso roast, both of which we have available on copacoffeeco.com. And then with that, with the Aeropress, we usually recommend a finer grind setting. If you have the ability, again, to grind, we typically recommend a little bit finer, not so much like espresso fineness, but a little bit finer than something like a V60 or a pour over. So we're going to go ahead and heat up our kettle with water to about 203 degrees Fahrenheit or 95 degrees Celsius. This I found has kind of been the sweet spot with the water temperature, not too much to where you're over extracting the coffee and not too little either. So while our water heats, we're going to go ahead and assemble our Aeropress. I'm going to go ahead and take the plunger and I'm going to pop it into our chamber here. And then we're going to take that, toss it on my scale. This is an inverted Aeropress method, so it's going to be done upside down. And then once the brew is finished, tipped back over and poured into the cup. So with our 18 grams of ground coffee and our water preheated, we're going to go ahead and take it and add our 90 grams of water into our Aeropress. Right about now, you're going to want to go ahead and start a timer for about, say, 1 minute and 30 seconds. And 90. We're going to go ahead and take a stir stick. We're going to agitate it a little bit. Agitate those grounds. Make sure everything's getting covered in that preheated water. All right, so now with about 20 seconds left, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take our stir stick. I'm going to agitate the grounds one more time. Give it one last little bit of agitation there. And then I'm going to take our hot water. Be careful on this step because the water's boiling, of course. And take our paper filter, throw it into our filter. I'm going to pour or pre-wet this paper filter with that hot water. And we are now at 1.5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop this lid on. We're going to take our cappuccino mug, pop it on top here, and then we're going to flip. And so here's our flip. I'm going to go ahead and press. The press should take about 30 seconds. Using ample pressure, you don't want to hulk it, of course, with 2 hands, but I'd say about 1 arm's worth of pressure. All right. And that is job well done. You are able to enjoy this however you like, of course. It is delicious on its own. Make it a latte, make it a cappuccino. I like to use it and make affogatos with it. I think it is so awesome that you can take this tiny little piece of kit and make such a delicious drink. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, shoot us a message. We are cross-platform here on YouTube, Patreon. We're trying to grow a community of like-minded individuals like yourselves who like to ask questions, learn new things, and meet new people. So again, thank you for watching. Follow us on Instagram. Happy brewing.